Hello everyone, welcome back to the Sapphire Spider Oracle channel. If it's your first time being here, I appreciate you stopping in. We are doing a pick-a-pile reading for the Aries new moon, which is happening here on April 1st. I believe that's the official date, depending on where you're located. And I am featuring the Steampunk Tarot today, and we've got our 4 piles pulled for us already, and it really wanted to work with some crystals today. So pile 1 features a nice peach selenite. First time I ever really used this crystal was the first time I ever astral projected, so really nice high vibes coming off of that crystal. This is desert rose selenite, and this is specifically usually the purpose is used to help you deprogram the mind so that you can reprogram the mind, so it breaks down old constructs and builds new constructs. It wants to correct that, not new constructs, but new ideas, right? This is Rhodonite for pile 3. Definitely in touch with the root chakra, and it also attaches to the heart chakra as well. So lots of nice, robust healing. It just wanted to say robust healing energy. And then this is Peacock Ore, and I hope you guys can see some of the color changes there. I usually use these to help me find lost objects, but it does have other purposes. It's one of my favorite crystals. I have another one, and it was my very first crystal that I ever bought. So this is Peacock Ore for pile number 4. So just sit and resonate, choose your crystal or choose your pile number. I've got the timestamps below. We're going to pick up with pile 1, and I'll see you all in a moment. Thanks. All right, pile 1, hope you guys are doing fabulous. So if you chose this pile, you either chose it because you're resonating with the number 1 at this time, which is very much represented by this crystal we have here, and or you may have chosen this pile for the peach selenite crystal. So yeah, the first time I ever used this, I was able to astral project. It's very cleansing, very much going to restore a high vibe to you. It is very much like traditional selenite, but it just features that nice peachy tone color. So I love this crystal. I often use it as a wand to like wave over my aura and cleanse myself. So let's get started. You had 4 cards come out for your pick-a-pile. And again, we are just checking in for the Aries new moon. And I've got the rest of the deck over here if we need to pull a couple more cards. But let's see what this energy is for this new moon for you. Knight of Wands, it wants all of them. 3 of Wands. 6 of Cups. 4 of Wands. Okay. Okay, so right off the bat, pile 1, there's this like back and forth energy here about some decisions. So you have this kind of like dashing in energy, ready to dash in when the time is right, but then you've also got this energy of hanging back and waiting on things to come to you. You've got kind of this past nostalgia sense for some either old times, old memories, things like that, or and then you've got a celebration of something that feels very grounded and new or real, something that's more present. So there's this very much like, it's kind of giving it to me like this wishy-washy weaving pattern. It's still giving you like general progress, but it's stating that your overall energy at this time is very much this like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. 2 steps forward, 1 step back is what it just said, right? So that's the first impression I get for you, pile 1. With this Knight of Wands, it just specifically said the word lurking. You're lurking outside of a doorway. And you're very much paying attention to what's going on inside. It is showing me this light specifically being cast through. You're being enlightened to something, okay? You're being enlightened to something, pile 1. There you have like your senses tingling. As a Knight of Wands, this can very much with that fire energy be a moment of inspiration. It could be a moment of like spiritual enlightenment, like just that little like ding, 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 like the light bulb goes off and you kind of connect some dots, right? It can also just be in a more realistic sense, like, right, like you connect the dots about something that you've already kind of had either a suspicion about, an inkling about. It doesn't have to be something negative. It's just there's something you've been paying attention to and you're kind of getting the knowledge and enlightenment you seek about it. And that's why you've been still hanging out outside of this door. You haven't gone through this door yet. And there's like a little bit of like some old fingerprints or something here. There's something on this card. It's got me paying attention to that. Just kind of like these symbols here on the wall. It's like you're very much paying attention to some details. There's very subtle details that you're paying attention to, pile one, and you're hanging back outside of this door because you just know there's something happening on the other side of the store. You might not know what, you just know that something's going on, right? And that's why you're ready to dash in, but you kind of are waiting to see, like, what exactly is it that's beyond that door, right? Okay, I like that. There's a bit of a message coming through, but I'm gonna wait for it to build. That's where we've got this Three of Wands energy. You literally have been hanging back for a while, waiting on some good things to come in. That's what I mean. There's a message coming. There's a bit of a double message. Some of you guys in this pile are suspicious that there's something more negative going on. And simultaneously, there's a bit of others that are waiting for something good to happen. I'm definitely getting more of a good energy off this pile. So for those of you that are kind of chilling in some suspicion or something, I would try to release some of that energy. Like this doorway is a little dark, right? And the light's coming in. That's what I mean. It's like you haven't gone through this door yet because you've just been very unsure. It's pointing out this hazy little sun back here in the background. You've definitely been waiting on a light in general to kind of show you your path, show you the things that are coming in. I do think that they're positive things coming in for you. So it's wanting you to kind of let go of that suspicion, let go of that worry. There's not so much hanging on the other side of this door that you should be afraid of. It's just been cloudy and foggy right now. You've been waiting on these ships to come in. So that's where part of that 2 steps forward, 1 step back kind of thing comes in. With the 6 of Cups over here, it's almost like you're literally waiting on somebody, like almost like a visit from an old friend type deal. Because with the 6 of Cups, you usually hear messages about like the past and nostalgia. So, you know, back in the old days, people would come over on ships. These days, we travel on planes and in cars and whatnot. So this can imply a little bit of travel. Maybe you were needing to travel yourself, or you're waiting on someone else to travel. It just brought me back to this card one more time, and someone's like, do I need to come get you type deal, right? Like, that's what I mean. It's like there's something you're like, do I need to go do this? Do I need to go do what's on the other side of this door? There's good things coming in, but it's just been very clouded at this time. And notice how we go from an enclosed room to outside with all this like fog and smog. And then we've literally got some smog, but there's a little bit of a sky up here in the corner. And then we have this really nice clear sky over here in the 4 of Wands. So like literally the situation's getting cleared up slowly. There's definitely things, if this is like a person that you've been like waiting on news about, it's somebody that you've known at least since childhood, it just said, at least since childhood. So definitely can be friends, relatives, things of that nature. And there's like sweet memories tied to this person. But there's also, usually with this 6 of Cups, there's a little bit of a bittersweet undertone. Things that have happened in the past, we usually see in a better light than things that we might usually be paying attention to in the present. And so that's where there's a little bit of this cloudiness, like, you know, we forget some of the more negative experiences from the past so that we can cherish the good memories, right? And that's where I think some of this cloudiness is coming from. It's like a voice just came through and it said, you did not forget the things of the past. And that's the whole problem. Is that you didn't forget the things of the past. And that's the whole problem. You very much remember a lot of experiences from your past. And that's part of this 2 steps forward, 1 step back kind of energy as well. There's a lot of good things you remember though too, and that's motivating you to like go forward with this. So if it's not like a person, then it's more like a plan. And definitely with the 4 of Wands here, that can certainly be a plan, something you're trying to bring into the real world, some kind of plan of action. But there's been experiences in your past that were both good and negative. You're trying to make sure you don't have clouded judgment, is what it just said. You're trying to make sure you don't have clouded judgment due to things in the past. Due to, it just said the word longing, like you're longing for this experience to take place, right? You're waiting for these ships to come in. You're waiting on this news. You're waiting on this kind of reconnection with someone, I think, that's like a friend or an old neighbor or a relative, someone from your past. But there's also some experiences there. Overall, ending on this 4 of Wands card, you are preparing for things to happen. You're anticipating their arrival or the arrival of a situation. Like I said, your plan going into action. So you're preparing for that. Usually in a 4 of Wands, this is like a wedding that they're setting up, right? It can also just be a general banquet, a celebration. So it doesn't have to go into any kind of like relationship realm. This could definitely be about some career with all these wands in here. That's definitely a business move. I'm not seeing any pentacles, so it's not so much about money. It's definitely more about like connecting with people, networking, plans, your ship coming in. Do I need to go ahead and go do this? No, just be patient because your ships are coming in, right? Well, I've had some past experiences that, you know, it got me kind of second guessing myself. Everything's going to be fine, pile 1. It wants you to get into the spirit of like anticipating in a positive way your plans coming to fruition, these things coming to action, happy times, right? It wants you to focus on the happy times and clear out some of this confusion and dirt and smog, because that's the whole thing. It's like you got some, I was talking about, there's a little bit of like suspicion and wariness on this card. You've got some negativity that is more responsible for clouding your perception of things than it is so much clouding your judgment. Wow, I like that message, pile 1. So it's not so much about your judgment being clouded. It's more about your own negative perceptions of things clouding past and current experiences. And your guides are telling you that you need to just kind of like open up and look at the sky, right? Like really go out and appreciate nature, appreciate all the beautiful things that you notice around you. Yes, connect with happy people that are, you know, trying to achieve the same goals as you. And those people are present. And that's what you see here in these 2 cards, where you're kind of seeing individuals more standing alone. Notice that these people at least have a teammate helping them achieve something. So that's what you're really looking for. I just said the word partner. So for some of you guys, this is a relationship. Some of you guys, this is marriage. You're looking for a partner. But that can definitely be in terms of business and career, a business partner, somebody to help you get these things in order. And this person right here in this card is selling these flowers, right? So it's definitely like going from a small business to a big business. Look at these garlands right here. Some of you, it just said florists. Some of you guys might be florists. And that makes sense with the wands too, just because of the fact that wands in a traditional deck are usually sprouting some flowers and leaves. So for some of you guys, this is definitely a bit of a business plan, and you're looking for a partner and just an investor. You're looking for somebody who's willing to invest and help support your ideas, your business, your dreams, and bring those goals to fruition. Let's get just one more card out of the deck for you guys as a final note on this overall reading. I'm trying to keep these short and sweet. So pile 1, you got some business plans you're trying to execute, or you got some kind of relationship you're trying to build. You got some kind of network and you've been going back and forth about it. You're not clouding your own judgment, but you are clouding your own perception of things. So think more positively, and your teammates, your investors, your business partners, your partner shall appear. Last note on this reading. Ten of Swords. It really had me focused on this light with the dawn, and again with all the smoke like clearing. And it gave me that kind of thing you hear in movies where the angel choir goes, ah, right, as the light like appears. Again with business, look, there's a briefcase here. It's a guy in a suit. Very much kind of resembles this gentleman here in the suit. It's like you were just so tired of waiting. Something just said, like, thank God. Like, you're so very much tired of waiting. It's been mentally exhausting. Doing everything on your own is what it's kind of given to me. It's like especially if you're a business person and you are very much working overtime, carrying a lot of responsibility. It's just very hectic. I'm getting more of just being mentally taxed, like totally mentally taxing. But for some of you guys, it did give me that scene from The Hangover where the guy's on the roof, right? That's where they find him, is on the roof. So there is a bit of that. That's a whole crazy wild venture. They're always looking for him, right? They're going around looking for him, trying to go through where he was before to try and find him. So there's a bit of that back and forth energy there. Some of you guys, this is a business plan. Some of you guys, this is like pre-wedding events that you have here. And especially with the Four of Wands, these are all like pre-wedding events. That's so funny. It's funny because my best friend's getting married, so this is all just starting to tie in for my stuff. But somebody out there is either dealing with a bunch of wedding business, especially flowers, garlands, bouquets. It's mentally taxing trying to make all these choices. Maybe you had to cut something out before. Maybe you've been through this before, and that's part of these past experiences. Ooh, thank you, Spirit. Yes. Some of you guys have been through a marriage before, and you are remembering some of these past experiences, and you see like all the clouds and all the smog everywhere, and you're just trying to figure out like what you need to do moving forward. And you keep going 2 steps forward, 1 step back. There's good things here at the end of this, but you do need to clear out some of the negativity, some of the negative perceptions, some of those suspicions and doubts, and some of the things that are just overall clouding your perception. There's really sweet energy here in the 6 of Cups. There's very nice energy in this 4 of Wands. It said it killed you before. It doesn't have to kill you again. You might be mentally exhausted overall at this time, but it doesn't have to continue this way. If you open up your energy, you will attract the people in general that you need on your team for whatever purpose it is in life, pile 1. So, it said, so throw that energy out. Throw that energy out, right? That's what I got for you. Let me know how it resonates. I will see you guys on the next batch of readings. Thank you so much. Bye. Hello, pile 2. Hope you guys are doing great. Something just said, it's been a while. Okay, so somebody in here, I hope, is a repeat listener because something just said, it's been a while. So, yes, it has. I had a very busy season. I had a little bit of a spring break where I mostly slept and then prepared for my next batch of work, which just started yesterday. So, I'm just back in the swing of work and things. And, man, just working. It said, don't say that. I know, don't say that because what you say becomes true. So, we're not going to be working, but I have been working. And that's why I made time for this pick a pile tonight. So let's get started with your reading, pile 2. We got 4 cards that came out, and if we need to pull more cards, I got the rest of the deck here. And we've got our Desert Rose Selenite. So let's get started. Five of Cups. Came out with a Five of Cups. So usually this is just about general sadness and woe is me and right. But very specifically tonight, it said that blood has been spilled, and it's showing me the red out of this cup. It said blood has been spilled. And it's almost like this guy here is obviously very upset and sad about it. Now, of course, it's usually just wine in the cup, right? It's just wine. And that's, ooh, nice. That's what she just said. Okay, interesting. There's a conversation happening in this first card right here. Part 1. Oh, why did I say part 1? What is going on with this pile? There's like definitely some energy in here, just a chitty chatting. Somebody's listening to multiple groups or something. Okay. Your pile 2, but it said part 1. He's saying blood has been spilled, and that's how this figure in this card is viewing what is coming out of this cup. But she's the bartender. She poured the cup, right? And that's where she's saying, like, it's just wine. Like, don't worry about it, right? Like, I'll clean it up. It's just wine. Very much crying over spilt milk. So it's just saying, like, you are perceiving something, pile 2, to be very, very serious. And maybe it was serious. Wine is expensive. It's not like it's cheap, right? Usually when you spill something or break a glass at a bar, you got to pay for it anyway. So that's where some of this sentiment can still come through. But with it saying like blood has been spilled, that's a much heavier concept and idea. That implies physical pain, that implies loss of life maybe, that implies much deeper concepts. So this is saying that for you guys, pile 2, someone is seeing a situation as something much more serious and much deeper than what someone else perceives. And at the same time, this energy over here at this time is saying like, it's just wine, like don't worry about it. So for some of you guys out there, Spirit's telling you the situation's not as serious like as you're perceiving it to be. And for other folks, it's telling you that the person talking to you, it's much more serious for them than it is to you, right? So let's just kind of see how the rest of the reading goes. So I keep trying to like tuck this little corner of my tablecloth over here and it doesn't want to stay. Okay. Knight of Cups. I like that. I love that reading. Wow. Okay, so it totally just made it out like this bartender in her day clothes is very daintily walking around. Like it's like she cleaned up and this is her during the day, right? And she's very much like this lady figure, except she's not, because she has like pantaloons on. It just said because she's like, she likes to be active. It was just pointing out how like when I was a kid and I did gymnastics, like I always had to wear skirts because I like to hang upside down on the monkey bars and do all this stuff on the playground. So I could never wear skirts and I had to wear skirts or shorts. So that's kind of what it's giving the impression of, is like, she likes to be outdoors, but she likes to be well dressed. She's active, so she don't necessarily want to be in a skirt. She wants to be able to freely walk around, right? I said I am a girl, but I'm one of the boys too. Ooh, interesting. And that's where I like this Knight of Cups, because the Knight of Cups is generally, like in a traditional deck, all the knights are usually men. In this deck, it does feature a couple of girls as the knights, and I love it. So with this knight, she definitely appreciates the arts. She likes music. She likes going on a walk through the garden, right? But it always brings me back to her cane, which has this horse topper on it, which is very characteristic of a knight. Woo, a message just came through. It was talking about the chess piece of a knight, how it's a horse. And it was just saying how those knights on a chessboard, they only move in an L shape. And the L represents In this case, the message it gave me was love, right? With a Knight of Cups, definitely. So they only make moves in love. They only move in L's. They only make moves in love, is what it's saying. Because if she has to use this cane in the other way, she's going to whoop your ass with it, is basically what it's saying. And that's the whole thing, is like she very much defends and protects the energy of people that she loves. And so therefore, like, she can be all about the arts, all about the poetry, all about the music, got this dainty wine glass in her cup, by the way, right? Like, will smack the crap out of you. So especially with it presenting this figure as if she like transformed from this bartender into this, it's just like, I'm totally a listening ear. It's really not that serious. Like, this isn't as big of an issue as you think it is, pile two. And then at the same time, she's kind of got this get up of this tough exterior that's like, I only make moves out of love. So I'm only listening. There you go. It said, I'm only listening to you out of love. Right? And it's kind of one of those things like, don't make me defend myself because I'm being nice and listening, or don't make me defend myself because maybe you encroach on my space or something, right? Like, I'm not wearing a skirt. This cane is not just for show. A Knight energy will protect itself, is what it's saying. A Knight energy will protect itself. Oh, and it was kind of saying like how this cup might have been her cup. And so at the same time, she's like, it's just wine, right? Like, if it was really serious, like if blood had been spilled, you would know because she would have whooped up on you, okay? So there's a statement for you right there, pile two. Somebody was thinking something's far more serious than it is. She's like, no, it's not. If it was, you would know. So what's up with these last two cards over here? Woohoo, double knights. It said that in two different ways. It said it as in like nighttime, like double nights. Especially if you were a bartender, right? I used to be a bartender. When you had to work a double, that was a long night. So it was kind of saying it like that, like double shifts, double nights. But also, we have this Knight of Swords, who, yet again, coming through very masculine. I think all the knights are female in this deck. I love it. It's great. I always see this Knight of Swords as much more of almost not a full-on mother energy, but kinda. It just reminds me of like my mom, who apparently wanted to join the Air Force and stuff at one time. It reminds me of some other women. It makes me think of like Amelia Earhart and stuff like that. So there's this and it's giving me the, oh God, what's his name? I don't know his name. It's the actor that is in Wonder Woman. That's her love interest, the pilot. It keeps giving me his face when I'm looking at this, though, even though it's a woman in the card. So there's something here about it. It's like definitely like the aviation energy is what I'm getting off of this. A Knight of Swords comes to collect you. A Knight of Cups comes to your aid to say the sweet things or guide you in the right direction, as in terms of art, poetry, love, and life, right? A Knight of Swords came to pick you up and protect you and definitely guide you to where you need to go next. They make decisions, they are communicators, and they're the ones with the sword. So remember, the sword is always the intellect and like your speech, your tongue. So they definitely came, they had something to say, or they have something to say. We're talking in the future with a new moon. So they showed up, they have something to say. It's very sharp and direct is what it said. It's giving you a 12-12 number pile too, because a knight is a 12th card. A page is a number 11, a knight is a 12. So you got a 12-12 message here. And it's always weird because I always see this in the background here as like bunkers or like tents at a camp, almost like a military outpost in the mountains kind of deal. It's like she dropped into this place to pick you up and get you out of there, and has a message for you, right? And then it's like into the blimp, into the Zeppelin, on to the next place. So there's this very swift energy with this Knight of Swords. Like, she comes in, does what she needs to do, and like out of there. And with that double knight energy, it was saying like, yet again, almost like this figure here can be both, right? Can take her time to listen, take her time to enjoy the finer things in life, can take the time to be extremely quick and swift and get in and get out of Dodge. So what's on this fourth card over here? And with this Five of Pentacles over here, okay, you have two different scenarios on these end cards, and then you've got these two knights. Look how the snow in this Five of Pentacles matches up to this Knight of Swords over here. So it's saying, nice. It kind of gave it to me like a book. Like a book. It also gave it to me like two halves of a brain, right brain, left brain type deal, right? And the way that people think differently on opposite sides of a brain. I told you this crystal's awesome. So there we go. There's another part of this message. So it wants me to just kind of, just barely separate these to look at it in two different lights. So let's focus on this over here. With the Five of Pentacles, this is usually about being out in the cold financially and spiritually. They are standing outside of a church with these beautiful stained glass windows. Something, the word just said resilient. It was just saying how like they're standing outside of a church with the stained glass windows. There's a young child holding her hand. She herself is very much resembling of a child energy, so she knows she's older, but harboring this child. And that's where you usually see this as being destitute, being crippled, being short on money, being without some kind of resource or support to help get you by. So down here comes the Knight of Swords, right? To get you in and get you out. And that's where this resilient energy is coming in and just saying like, well, you know, I've got this person in tow, so maybe I can't go with you yet. Or just FYI, like this person's got to come with me. You got these two people on this side, you got two people on this side. There's someone, there's like, right? It's not just these knights. These knight energies, which can totally be you, pile two, the same person, the two different halves of yourself, looking at these other people, these other situations that involve other folks. You're approaching it in two different ways. Part of you is like, I'm totally here for a listening ear. It's not as serious as you think it is. I'm totally fine doing all these romantic, beautiful, poetic things and artistic things, but definitely, like, you know, if you get too much in my space, I'll smack you with my cane. Totally opposite energy here. It's like, hey, looking at this card, do you need some help? Do you need some support? Come on, let's get out of here. And that's where there's usually some pushback on the Five of Pentacles. And that can be just within yourself too. It's like it said you're refusing help. Like you don't, it's not that you don't want the help, it said pile two, but you might be refusing the help because there's something in here where you're just resisting. Like it's the resistance energy in you. Maybe you're not convinced that this Knight of Swords is like the right escape route or something like that. Maybe it's because, again, like she's got the hat on and everything, the cap. And I was saying how I was perceiving this as a actor, which is a masculine figure. Like there's a different energy here where you're not quite seeing this person at face value. Just said, like, you're not quite seeing this person at face value. You're not seeing the energy that they're bringing in and truly representing. You're kind of mixing it up with some other things. So you're holding back and you're still standing out here in the snow. You're still standing out here without these resources and the support. Still supporting someone on your own, or still standing by listening to essentially what is a sob story, right? It said one card. There we go. That's it. We'll take one card to kind of finish wrapping this up. Yeah, what a card to pull. Look at that Two of Swords. I was saying how there's like two halves of the brain. There's two different ways of looking at a situation. There's two different things going on. It's almost like this feminine figure transforms through it all. Can be the listening ear, can be the guide, can be the rescuer themselves, and can be the one that's resistant to rescuing in essence. And there is a decision to be made about the way to move forward in this case. That's where this Two of Swords comes in. She is a ballerina balancing on this gear. The gears are turning. She's got both swords balanced and she's blindfolded. So she's very much listening just to her intuition. Look at that. Very much listening just to her intuition. And this is very much happening in the mind space, literally making decisions. But I notice how she's holding swords, which makes me think that leaning more towards this approach. Leaning more towards that approach. Ooh, it said because this is hard. It said because this is hard. Dang, I didn't realize it. You got a 5 and a 5, you got a 12, 12, and you got a 2. So that's a 5, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 5. Like there's a major pattern right there is what it just said. I'm just going to figure it out. There's a major pattern happening here in your pile 2, and you are going to figure it out. But right now, this is the decision. These are the two ways of thinking. These are the two paths that are being revealed to you at this time at the Aries new moon. And you're balancing it all and doing it all perfectly. So don't stress about it, but just, it said, just open your eyes and realize that these are the two different energies in general that are taking place at this time. So you can see that clearly so you can make the decision. Okay? That's what I got for you, pile 2. Let me know how it resonates. I'm moving on to pile 3. I'll see y'all on the next batch of readings. Thank you. Hello, pile 3. I hope you guys are doing great. I haven't brought this crystal in here in quite a while. So this is a lovely piece of Rhodonite. It's lovely because it doesn't have all that gray space in between everything. It's just a nice, thick, rich chunk of this red crystal. And it's really beautiful. I like to kind of, it fits pretty perfectly in your fingers like that for a nice grip. So I like to hold this one. And let's get started with your reading. So your tarot cards all came out pretty much in a thick book. Thick book. The first one came out on its own. So I'm going to just put that one up here. And then these other 4 came out as a thick book. And I'm just going to kind of tuck those down here. Want some like that. All right, let's start here in the middle for you, pile 3. No, it's so lovely. I thought of this card a lot lately, and I haven't actually used this deck in a while, so I'm happy to see this card. Let me sit with it for a minute. Something said, like, it's an accident. She's pulling a gear from the paw of this lion. And then she's got gears on her belt. So it's very much giving me the impression almost like she had a throwing star, like a ninja star or something that she threw. And this lion stepped on it or it hit him. And she's coming over to fix the issue, right? So that's the kind of strength that's involved. A human approaching a wild animal like a lion and trying to help heal them, but also the idea of possibly like you did something and you accidentally hurt somebody, so you have the moral strength to go over and help heal them, right? That's the kind of strength it's bringing up here in this first batch of the reading. So let's expand that message. That was pretty much cut clear and dry, so that's exactly That's exactly what it has to say for that card at this time. But let's build off the message. It kind of wants to start over here on the bottom. So you got a 4 and a 4, which does equal an 8. It said these things add up. Okay, so a 4 plus a 4 equals an 8. So those things add up. You got this other major arcana over here with the Emperor, and the Emperor always represents, hang on, it's talking to me, hang on. Okay, so it was kind of giving me the impression that she had the gears on her belt, right? It was almost like it was a throwing star. Then it was giving me the impression almost like she works for the Emperor or knows the Emperor, because then he's got the gears on his chair. And so it was almost like the Emperor's the one that provided her with the tools that caused some of the pain here, right? That's one thing that it was giving to me. It hasn't really opened up about the Four of Swords yet. But so definitely an Emperor usually is like earthly blessings, money, security, power, having all of your boundaries in place to keep the empire running in the best way, mastering all the elements here in the earthly realm. Not so much on the spiritual side of things, definitely more about the actual like comings and goings of the world and how to work with energy within it. So they make all the rules and laws and boundaries. They're the, it said main one holding it down. They're the main one holding it down. Something just kind of said, but like even emperors have to sleep at some point. And that's where you kind of got this crow over here watching in the window. We've got this hourglass. When the hourglass ends, the swords will drop and eventually hurt this person lying beneath, taking a nap. And that's where something just said, like, it's just a matter of time. It kind of gave me the impression that this lion is talking to her as she's patching up his paw, right? And it's kind of saying, like, why do you work for this guy? Can't you see how some of his, like, contraptions, the stuff that he creates hurts me? There's a message here a little bit about, like, protecting the environment. So you might be feeling called to protect animals or protect the environment. And you might not be currently working at a place or in a position or with someone that is necessarily a good, ethical, moral person, is really the impression I'm getting, pile 3. It's like there's something here where someone is not ethically or morally as upstanding as they should be. In fact, behind the scenes, they might even be slacking on the job. And that's kind of what I'm getting here. It's like they are just sleeping. They're just taking a nap. It's a matter of time before this all kind of falls down on their head. So, okay, it said, pile 3. It just came through. It said they put up a good front. Said they put up a good front, right? He's sitting in front of a curtain on a throne. They put up a good front. But there's something here where they just kind of slacking on the job, taking a nap, not doing what needs to be done. When the time runs out, everything's going to fall down on their head and hurt them, just like it said their previous actions led to this lion being hurt. And that's where it's kind of giving me the impression, pile 3, that you're caught in the middle. Like you see this stuff going on, and you recognize how it hurts other people, and you are taking the time to just pause and kind of repair those situations, make amends about those things. But her eyes are definitely cast back over here. She's not just looking at this lion, she's looking at all of this, and she's reflecting as well. And that's why we've got this infinity symbol. So something's coming to light for you on this new moon or around this new moon, where it's like you're really questioning the ethics and morals of someone that you either work with or that is very much present in your life. They're a major figure in your life coming through on this Emperor. But something just ain't right, and you do need to pause and meditate on it. And if you can't figure it out, then mentally rest, because time will reveal everything for you. And that's the message of this lion. Like, you know, you see this stuff, but time will reveal all. and time will catch up to the person that is ultimately responsible for the damage being done in this card, but at least you're taking the time to heal these things, right? So that's good on you, pile 3. Let's finish it out with the rest of this reading. Another 4. Whew. Look at that. You got a 4 of Cups and a 3 of Cups here. Okay, the way it just gave it to me was like, honestly, it's like after you have this conversation with the lion, essentially, it's like you go back to your study, and it's like you're sitting here thinking about all of this, and you're like, you know what? The lion is right. I just don't like this. I don't agree with any of this. This doesn't make me happy. What am I going to do about it? The 4 of Cups can often be boredom. It can be where you put yourself into your own negative mental mind state, and there is a bit of warning against that. Like, don't start getting all internal on yourself and judging yourself and putting your own bad omens into your space, and right, like, you don't need that energy. Something just said it's not about you. Ooh, that's a relief, right? It's not about you, pile 3. So don't go home and internalize this stuff. This is about, I said, this moment is about you seeing this, recognizing it, reflecting on it, but don't let it put you into this energy. You might stop there for a little while because you might just kind of, this feels very much like just some kind of like wake up call. And you just realize some things aren't quite how they should be in your environment. But you're not supposed to get like bogged down in it. And that's where this same study space very much looks like this study space, but now we've got some friends in here. We still got wine. We still got some other things going on. We got a crystal ball over here. So this is where they don't want you to isolate yourself, judge yourself, and get all tied up in that negative energy. If need be, you definitely need to bring some friends in. Maybe this is something you need to talk about with your family or your friends, especially if it's somebody you're like, you know what, I really shouldn't work for this person anymore, or I really shouldn't do this anymore. Like, this isn't the path we should take. So there's something here to be discussed with other like-minded people, especially if you're trying to step out of this energy here. I was just saying how they have valuable insight. It might be people who used to work for that person in the past. It could just be people who've had similar life experiences. Also, they can just cheer you up and make you laugh about a situation, right? These cards are pretty gloomy overall. It's like the only moment of enlightenment and happiness somewhat is when you're taking the time to do a good deed and help somebody. And I think that's the better note to come out of this reading for you, pile 3, is like the brightest moment in your reading is the moment where you pause and take the time to connect with someone or something else, do a good deed, help someone, heal something, reflect on things that aren't naturally in the right order. And then, yeah, sort it out with some other like-minded people if that makes you feel better, because all of these people just kind of sitting here on their own in deep thought. It's not really changing much of the energy. It's everyone just sitting around thinking, right? You gotta get together and get things moving and start talking about it. It said, like, communication makes a big difference, right? Communication makes a big difference. And the 3 of Cups, these are people that support your ideas and support you emotionally. So you don't have to be alone in this. Like, you can figure out how to get out of this situation based off everyone else's input and experiences. Ooh. Okay, you had 2 cards that fell in my lap. I was contemplating if I should flip that card back upside down because it kind of did that for a second. Queen of Wands in reverse, and the Justice card. A Queen of Wands in reverse is an interesting energy, actually. I was going to say, let me actually pull the book on this one because it's been a while since I've read the description for this particular Queen of Wands in this deck. So, let's pull out the book. Sorry, pile 3, my phone storage got full, so I just went for like a couple more minutes. Let me pick back up where we were, and it was perfect. So I was going to say, I'm just going to reiterate the reading that I was doing before I was so rudely cut off. So with the Queen of Wands here in the book, I'm just going to read the quote. It says, "Why are you still sitting there? For goodness sakes, why am I still sitting here?" It means overall, when the card is upright, someone who supports and nurtures the will, inspiration, and passions of others. As long as she is in motion, she shines like the sun, drawing people and good luck to her like moths to a flame. She is witty, charming, and warm. Her confidence radiates so strongly that you can feel it in your blood as if it were your own. Her energy helps you be your best self. She wants you to be your best self because she does not want to be surrounded by boring fools. If the action stops, if clever conversation ceases, she clouds over, restless, feeling useless. Because if people aren't moving, aren't sparkly, she has nothing to offer. This fact may lead you to believe she is shallow. Okay, so that's all I wanted to just say. She's very much about action. And I was talking about how this person's like sleeping on the job and just kind of like wasting time, not doing what they need to do. This is a Queen of Wands who isn't being supportive, isn't in action, isn't in motion, and yet again, isn't really doing the job that she's supposed to do. So this is a reflective energy of very much this person putting up that good front, looking like they're doing a good job. But what's happening behind the curtain, you guys, is they are slacking, they are lacking, they're being sassy about it. They want everyone else to kind of pitch in and do the work for them because they're just this Queen of Wands in reverse. So they're not making any moves. They're not taking any action plans. They're not actually getting the job done. They're not actually leading people. And all of this is going to come to a head at some point. Once the timer goes off and the swords fall down, everything's going to very much be revealed. Now, that being said, this Justice card, and this is where I'm going to say the exact same message to you guys. In her hand are tarot cards that are falling out. The cards that are falling out are cards from this deck. And this card right here, that is the Queen of Wands card. So she's got the Hangman card with the Queen of Wands, and then she's got an 8 of Swords with the Ace of Pentacles. And the way I was interpreting this is where you were previously stuck in your mind with that 8 of Swords, there's going to be some kind of new offer or new path that comes ahead and helps lead the way. And maybe that's why it's so important for you to network and mingle with these other like-minded people instead of just sitting around sulking about this whole situation, because you're going to have some kind of opportunity that gets presented to you. And there's that crystal ball over here, very much kind of looking like a pentacle, right? With the Queen of Wands here, with the Hangman Tarot, there's definitely that stagnation energy being represented here. They're going through epiphanies. You're going through epiphanies. There's some upside down energy. There's some things being turned over. And it's very clear that justice and karma is handling the situation. So the overall message for you here, pile 3, someone's putting up a good front, but they are not doing the things that they say they're doing. They are very much in this negative energy. They got something going on, but as far as action and decisions and getting a job done and like communicating and leading people, like not doing a good job, okay? you have this moment of light where you reflect on that, and you have that moment while you're stopping to help and do this good deed or help someone else, and they kind of enlighten you and show you like, yeah, this isn't really who you think it is. They're not really, right? All of that kind of gets you down. There are other folks out there that are more like you and agree with you, have been through similar experiences. So you need to connect with them instead of just chilling on your own. And whatever kind of little deep, dark, vengeful thoughts you might have, and it might not even be vengeance. It might just be like, you know, this is so unfair. I wish something could be done about this. Trust me, the universe, justice has got this person's card in their hand. It is being dealt as we speak. These are things that are just being revealed to you at the new moon, but you are not meant to take action yourself. You are very much meant to just keep doing your own thing, keep being good and shining light on people, hang out with your friends. Do not worry about anything else here, because karma and justice is going to take care of that for you, pile 3. And sorry that my phone got full and I had to restart that recording, but that was the overall message for you. Let me know how it resonates. I will see you guys on the next batch of readings. Thank you so much. Bye. Hello, hello, pile 4. Last pile of the night. So if you chose this, it's probably for this Peacock Ore crystal or the number 4. I really love this crystal, and peacocks have been kind of around me as a symbol lately, so I pulled this one in just because it felt like the right one. And let's get started. You've got 5 tarot cards, pile 4, and we are checking in for this Aries new moon. So let's see what this Steampunk Tarot has to say for you. I want some all for you as well. Good cards, great cards. Let me feel it out. Okay, weird. Something just came through and said the Tower of Terror, which is a ride at Disney World that I absolutely love. And I don't know why that just came through, because you don't have a tower card here. I don't know why that came through. You don't have a tower card here. A Tower of Terror is a ride, but it's definitely based on, like, you know, ghost stories and semi-true stories and things like that. So I get this sense like you were expecting something really serious here in your reading, and there's serious cards as far as, like, you got some major arcana, but there's nothing here that's necessarily something to be, like, concerned about, is what I'm getting. So I don't know what you were expecting there, Pile 4, but let's dive into your reading. We start with the Star card, which is a lot of hope energy, especially when things are feeling dark. The Star card is the guide for you. So she's got this star kind of emanating from her palm, which I just kind of was mentioning palmistry and things like that. The hands actually connect to our heart chakra. So it's very much this kind of like giving energy, like shining a light for others, giving a light out for others. Usually when you have the Star card, you've been either a little lost on your path. I was always saying how this crystal helps you find lost things. So you might have been previously feeling a little lost on your path, but there's some light starting to shine through here around this new moon. And it just said, and it's a big deal, because that's the whole thing. This is a major arcana. So this has been a major cycle for you. But with this new moon, we're definitely getting a little bit of gift of light. There's something that comes shining through and starts to lead the way. And then that light grows here in this Judgment card that we have. This is where I was getting the Tower of Terror energy, because this is very much this car that has crashed. There's smoke coming off of it. It's one of those moments where It can be a life or death situation when there's a car wreck. It can be one of those moments where it's like, it's just a general like, oh crap moment, right? Like, now I gotta get a new car. What are we gonna do? How am I gonna get to work? Like all that stuff, right? With that Tower of Terror moment, you think the elevator's gonna crash at the bottom, but it's just a ride. So it's meant to be a thrill, and that's part of the message that's coming off here. Okay, nice. It's saying that your journey overall is meant to be a thrill. But when you get too scared and worried about everything, you start seeing everything as like a tower card, like a big old tower of terror, even when there's not a tower card here. So it's kind of saying that this light overall, as the new moon approaches and comes through, is like it starts to grow because you realize things aren't quite as bad as they seem, but you do realize that this is a serious turning point for you in your journey. It's not as bad as you thought it was going to be. It doesn't feel as crazy like a tower of terror as you thought it was going to be. But there are some serious complications here, and you do have to rise to the occasion. It's just you're feeling much better about actually doing that, pile 4. It's not as big of a scary step. It is a big step, but it's not a big scary step that you got to go through, okay? So that's some nice encouraging energy. It is meant to be a thrill ride though, so anything that's a bump in the road, like it just jumped over here, it said get back up on the horse and keep going. And notice how we switched from a car to a horse, a big mechanical horse. Something just came through, was joking about like gas prices, right? Like I'm gonna just start riding a horse. Maybe you should. Why not? But I know we can't actually do that. But that's where it's just saying like, there's some bumps in the road. There's some things that you've really got to consider and address. And one way or another, you got to get back up on the horse, whatever that horse represents for you. With the 6 of Wands, this is a victory, and just a charge. I said a victory charge. He's not charging in this card. He's walking through the streets, getting recognition. It's almost like a victory parade or just a general celebration to honor someone. There's good things. Excuse me, bless me. there's good things ahead. And look at that, when I sneeze, like I say bless you to everybody, and whether anybody else out there said it or not when I did it in the recording, that's kind of the intention. It's like you're being blessed. There's things that, right? People are giving you the recognition, the things that you deserve at that time. You are being blessed. So it is small blessings there, small blessings. So there is some victory moving forward. There's big things that you got to deal with. Not as scary as you thought they were first going to be, but still big steps all the same. When you start taking baby steps, right? We went from a car to a horse. We go from a major arcana to a minor arcana. So when you start taking baby steps, you will start seeing that progress. You will start getting the recognition and success you deserve, and you will receive those blessings that are going to help get you along the rest of the way. And that's where it's really giving these 2 court cards over here to me as like additional blessings, as in people along your path that are serving as spirit guides, okay? This Page of Wands, she has a cannon for a left arm. And I love the description of this Page of Wands in the deck because it talks about how she's the most powerful page in the whole deck because she's basically a secret weapon built. She knows what her powers are. She knows how to use her arm cannon, but she's very timid and shy and doesn't like to use it because she knows how much damage it can cause to people. And so it's just a card to remember. It just gave me the Bible verses like you are fearfully and wonderfully made, right? You're fearfully and wonderfully made. There's something here about this Page of Wands. There's some person, some quote like that, some kind of inspiration that comes through, and it's like, don't forget, even though you're taking baby steps now, right? Look at this regal wear that he's got on. Look at her arm cannon. It's like, don't forget, you were fearfully and wonderfully made. You might have crashed and burned a little bit before, but you definitely got back up on the horse, and you're making baby steps. You're doing the right things. You're doing good things. The person saying this to you is someone who's simultaneously not as confident in themselves as they should or could be. And that's where it just gave it back to me, like, this person is the same as this person over here. So then it's almost like you return the favor to them, pile 4. You return the favor to them in a very solid way. He's got a pentacle in his hand, which is actually a canteen in his hand holding water. So it's not just a pentacle, it is holding water, which is bringing in elements of the cups, which is emotions, right? There's nice. Okay, I love that. Someone kind of helps give you advice and pick you up and guide you along the way when it's time for you to make baby steps and go on your journey. And it's like, oh, that was so cute. Some voice just came through and just said, I won't forget you, right? And it's like a little bit later on, maybe later this month, down the road, at some point in time, you come back to return that energy, return that favor to this Page of Wands. So, and I like how it makes like a question mark here for me. It's like, this is your path, pile 4. This is definitely a person along your path. And it's not that you bypass them. It's just like, they're almost like a signpost, or it said, or a goalpost. They're like a goalpost in the road. They give you that advice. Hey, you should get back up on the horse. Don't forget, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. You're amazing. Baby steps is a good way to do it. And you're like, cool, thanks. I appreciate that. I won't forget that advice. And later on down the road at some point, you are indeed going to come back and return the favor. You're going to give them the emotional support they need, maybe the monetary, real world support that they need, with it being a Pentacles. It might take a little bit of time, but it's like, it just said, once you're further along your journey and you've evolved a little bit yourself, you're able to return that favor. And a Page of Wands is someone that's very early on in their career, in their life, in their path. They're a very youthful energy. And this Knight energy is definitely a more mature energy. So it's like, you got to mature along your path. And you're going to come back to pay it back again later. It could literally be paying someone back too, because you've got the Pentacles here. But that's the only place where there is Pentacles. So you return the favor one way or another to this person later. So definitely pay out, pay attention. It said pay out. Oh, look at that. Definitely pay out. Definitely pay attention to the people paying out energy for you when you need it most. Guardian angels looking out for you when you need it most. People giving you praise when you need it most. And make sure you return that favor to others, especially at a later time when you are certainly capable of doing that with your energy. You might not be able to pay out now because you're going through stuff, but the time will come, and you just need to make sure that you backtrack and, you know, give the credit where it's due. Help someone else up along the way. I want one more card on this reading for you, pile 4, and then we're going to wrap this up. Queen of Pentacles, and look at that. Now we have this Queen energy over here, Knight of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles. She definitely is an upgrade. It just said she's an upgrade. She appreciates the finer things in life, and she can teach you how to appreciate them too. And I love how she's gold and she's matching this horse almost. It's like she gifted the horse to him to ride, right? Queen of Pentacles could definitely be seen as someone that's like a sponsor to you. She's good with the money. She appreciates those finer things in life, so she can support you financially, help you get back up on your feet while you're moving forward on your journey. But you need to make sure that you pay it back later on, because she's going to mature along her path too, and she might be an even more powerful player later on. Maybe this is that Page of Wands later on, right? I like that. I said people change, but they don't change, right? It's very much showing me that gold again. Saying people change, but they don't change. We just evolve and mature over time. So the people that are helping you now, don't forget them in the future. Things that you've done in your past or on your path that you've been worried about, crashes and burns and things like that. It's all in the past. It was all there for a reason. Time to make baby steps out of that energy and appreciate other people along the path in life. Just don't forget to go back and treat them nicely and make sure you pay out, because this, I'm really getting the sense that this energy turns into a Queen of Pentacles later. They also mature and grow up. They also have more to offer later on. It's just that they are a good ally to have on your team. So when you recognize this energy coming through, it might be just a little something right now. They can be worth a lot later on. They've got their eye on something. They are solid and stable. They're supporting you one way or another. So definitely come back to make that payout and return that favor later on. And that's where this crystal just came back in to talk and said, like, don't lose sight of what's really important in life. Your car can be replaced. Things can be replaced. But good people along your path and good people supporting you in life, sometimes those people can't be replaced, right? And that's the final message. Don't lose sight of the important things in life. Like friends and people that help to support you along the way. And that's what I got for you, Pile 4. Beautiful message for you for this new moon. Hope you get that help and support that you need for sure. Keep an eye out for it. I'll see you guys on the next batch of readings. Thanks so much.